Hey, English learners! Welcome back to the English Leap podcast, your English podcast for real conversation practice and easy English in daily life.
Yeah, this is the place where you learn real English from real talk, not from boring grammar books.
I'm Anna.
And I'm Jake. We're really happy you're here with us today.
So, Jake, quick question before we start. How was your day today?
Honestly, kind of a normal day. I woke up, checked my emails, had 2 meetings, and then I ate a sandwich at my desk like a sad little office animal.
A sad little office animal. I love that.
It's true, though. Some days work life is just meetings, coffee, and sandwiches.
Well, that's actually perfect because today's topic is exactly about that. Work, jobs, careers.
Oh, nice. So today we're not just talking about our sandwiches.
No, today we're going deeper. Today's topic is how to talk about your job in English.
Ah, yes, this is a big one. So many learners message us and say, Anna, Jake, I can say my job title. I can say I am an engineer or I am a teacher. But when someone asks more questions, I get stuck.
Exactly. And it happens everywhere. Job interviews, networking events, meeting new people at a party, even small talk with your taxi driver.
Right. Someone asks, so what do you do? And your brain says, okay, easy, I can answer this. But then they ask, oh, interesting, what does that involve? And suddenly, silence.
Total silence. Just you smiling and your brain doing absolutely nothing.
We've all been there, even in our first language sometimes.
True. So today, we're going to fix that. We'll give you a simple structure, real vocabulary, real example conversations, and by the end of this episode, you'll be able to talk about your job like a confident English speaker.
And even if you don't have a job right now, maybe you're a student, maybe you're between jobs, maybe you're taking care of your family, don't worry, we'll cover that too. Everyone needs this skill.
Yes, this episode is for everyone. Okay, before we jump into the topic, we want to ask you for one small favor.
Yes, one tiny thing for your finger and a big help for us.
If you're enjoying this podcast, please like this episode, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who is learning English. Maybe a friend, a classmate, or a coworker.
Especially that coworker who always says, my English is bad, right before giving a perfect presentation in English. We all know that person.
We all know that person.
And if you want, leave us a comment. Tell us your job or your dream job in one simple sentence. It's great practice, and we really do read every comment.
Yes, we love hearing from you. Okay, Jake, are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's talk about jobs.
Let's go. So let's start with a simple question. Jake, why do you think this topic is so important for English learners?
Good question. I think it's because talking about your job is one of the very first things people ask you in English. It's almost automatic. You meet someone new, and after what's your name and where are you from, the next question is almost always, what do you do?
That's so true. It's like a social rule. Name, country, job. Every time.
Exactly. So if you can't answer this well, it can feel embarrassing, even if your English is actually pretty good in other situations.
Right. And there's something interesting here too. This question isn't just about facts. It's also a way for people to connect with you. When you talk about your job well, people become interested in you. They ask more questions. They remember you.
Yes, and that matters a lot in real life. Job interviews, of course, but also networking events, business trips, even dating.
Dating too. Imagine you're on a date and someone asks about your job and you just say, I work in office, and then stop. That's it. Conversation over.
I work in office. Poor guy. He needs our help.
He does. So today, we want to give you tools, not just to answer the question, but to make the conversation flow naturally, keep it interesting, and even lead the conversation if you want to.
And one more important thing. This topic gives us a chance to practice a lot of useful grammar in a natural way. Present simple, present continuous, past simple for how you started your career, and even going to or will for future plans.
Yes. So this episode is not only vocabulary, it's grammar too, but taught through real conversation, not boring rules.
Exactly the English Leap way.
Okay, let's start with the basics.
Okay, so let's imagine the classic moment. You're at a party, a conference, or maybe just sitting next to someone on a plane, and they ask you, so what do you do?
The most common question in the English-speaking world.
Right. Now, many learners just say their job title, like, I'm an accountant, and then nothing else. Silence again.
And that's okay as a start, but we want to teach you a simple 3-part structure so your answer sounds natural and complete. Not too short, not too long.
Okay, let's build it step by step. Step 1. Say your job title or your general area of work.
For example, I'm a graphic designer, or I work in marketing, or I'm studying to become a nurse.
Good. Step 2. Add where you work or who you work for. This gives context.
So you could say, I'm a graphic designer, and I work for a small design agency in the city center. Or I work in marketing at a technology company.
Nice. And step 3, this is the magic step. Add one small detail that makes it interesting. Something specific, something personal.
Yes, this is the part that turns a boring answer into a conversation starter. For example, I'm a graphic designer, and I work for a small design agency downtown. Right now, I'm actually working on the branding for a new coffee shop, which is really fun.
See how that invites more questions? The other person might say, oh really? What kind of branding? What's the coffee shop called?
Exactly. That third part is like an open door. It invites the conversation to continue.
Let's do a few more examples with this 3-part structure. I'll be a teacher. I'm a teacher. I teach English at a language school in the evenings. My favorite part is when a shy student finally speaks up and surprises everyone, including themselves.
Oh, I love that one. It's warm and it says something about your personality too.
Exactly. Now you try one, Anna.
Okay, let's say I'm a nurse. I'm a nurse. I work in a hospital in the emergency department. It's stressful sometimes, but I love it because every day is different, and I get to help people on their worst days.
Beautiful. See, listeners, this isn't hard. You just need 3 simple pieces. What you do, where you do it, and one small, honest detail.
And don't worry about making it perfect or impressive. It just needs to be true and a little bit personal.
Right. Now let's slow down and build your own vocabulary toolbox so you can create your own version of this.
Okay, so now let's talk vocabulary. Because to build that first part of your answer, what you do, you need the right words.
Right, and there's actually a small grammar trick here that confuses a lot of learners. Do you say, I work in a hospital, or I work at a hospital? Do you say, I'm in marketing, or I work in marketing?
Good question. Let's clear this up. When you talk about your general field, your industry, you usually use in. For example, I work in marketing. I work in finance. I work in education. I work in healthcare.
And when you talk about a specific company or a specific building, you usually use at or for. For example, I work at Google. I work for a small startup. I work at a hospital downtown.
Yes. And a quick note, at usually talks about the place, and for usually talks about the company as an organization, almost like a person you work for. I work for my uncle's company sounds natural, but I work at my uncle's company also works. Don't stress too much about the tiny difference. Native speakers mix these naturally too.
Good point. Okay, let's go through some common industries because knowing the name of your field helps a lot.
Let's list some. Healthcare. This includes doctors, nurses, dentists, pharmacists, therapists.
Education. Teachers, professors, school administrators, tutors.
Technology, or tech for short. Software developers, IT support, data analysts, product managers. Finance, accountants, bankers, financial advisors, auditors. Marketing and advertising, marketing managers, social media specialists, copywriters, graphic designers.
Hospitality and tourism, hotel staff, travel agents, tour guides, chefs.
Construction and engineering, civil engineers, architects, electricians, construction managers.
Retail and sales, store managers, sales representatives, cashiers, customer service agents.
Legal field, lawyers, paralegals, legal assistants, judges.
And of course the creative field, artists, musicians, writers, filmmakers, photographers.
Great list. Now, here's something important. If your exact job doesn't have a super common English name, don't panic. You can describe it in simple words instead of searching for the perfect translation.
Yes, this is such a good tip. For example, if you're not sure how to say your specific job title, you can say, I work with numbers, mostly checking company budgets. That already tells people you probably work in finance or accounting, even if you don't remember the exact word accountant in that moment.
Exactly. Communication is more important than perfection. If people understand you, you already succeeded.
Let's also talk about a few useful general phrases for describing your work area, even if you're not sure of the exact title.
Sure. You can say, I work in the medical field. I work in something related to computers. I work in a creative industry. I work with children. I work in customer service. I work behind a desk most of the day. I work with my hands, doing physical work.
These are great backup phrases. Even advanced speakers use general phrases like this sometimes, especially when talking to someone from a different country who might not know specific job titles from your culture.
True. Okay, Now let's talk about students, people between jobs, and people who work at home. Because what do you do isn't only for people with a traditional 9-to-5 job.
Right, this is important. If you're a student, you can say, I'm a student. I'm studying business at university. Or, I'm currently studying to become a dentist.
If you are between jobs, you don't have to feel embarrassed. You can say, I'm currently between jobs, but I used to work in sales. Or simply, I'm looking for a new opportunity in marketing right now.
And if you work at home taking care of family, you can say, I'm a stay-at-home parent, so my days are full, just in a different way. Or, right now I'm focused on raising my kids, but I used to work as a teacher.
These are all completely normal, respectable answers. There's no need to feel small about any life situation. English gives you the words. You just need to know them.
Beautifully said, Anna.
Thank you, Jake. Okay, now that we have some vocabulary, let's move to the next big skill, talking about your daily tasks and responsibilities.
Okay, so now imagine the conversation continues. The person says, oh, that's interesting. What does that involve? Or, what do you actually do all day?
This is the moment where a lot of learners freeze, because now you need more than just a job title. You need to describe actions, daily routines, and responsibilities.
Right, and the good news is, this is a perfect place to use present simple because we use present simple for routines and regular actions.
Exactly. So the structure is easy. Subject plus verb, describing what you usually do. Let's build some example sentences.
If you're a teacher, you could say, I prepare lessons, I teach classes, and I grade homework. Simple structure, 3 actions.
If you're a nurse, I check on patients, I give medication, and I update medical records.
If you're a software developer, I write code, I fix bugs, and I attend meetings with my team.
If you work in sales, I contact new clients, I give presentations, and I try to close deals.
See the pattern? 3 simple actions connected with commas and. This is such an easy formula to remember.
Yes, and you can make it even more natural by adding time expressions. Words like usually, every day, most mornings, throughout the week.
Good point. Let's add that. I usually start my day by checking emails. Then I attend a few meetings. And in the afternoon, I focus on writing reports.
That already sounds like a real person talking, not a robot reading a job description.
Exactly. Let's also talk about useful verbs for describing responsibilities, because many learners only know basic verbs like do and make, but there are more specific, more natural verbs. Great idea. Let's go through some useful ones. Instead of just do, you can say handle. I handle customer complaints. Instead of make, you can say create. I create marketing content. Instead of help, you can say support or assist. I support the sales team with data. Instead of look at, you can say review or analyze. I review financial reports every month. Instead of talk to, you can say communicate with or coordinate with. I coordinate with different departments. Instead of start, you can say manage or oversee if it's a bigger responsibility. I oversee a small team of 5 people.
These verbs might sound small, but they make a big difference. They make you sound more professional and more confident, even at a B1 level.
Absolutely. Let's practice combining these. I'll give you my job and you build a sentence with better verbs, okay, Anna?
Okay, go.
I'm a project manager.
Let's see. I coordinate with different teams, I manage project timelines, and I make sure everything stays on budget.
Perfect. That's exactly the level we want. Clear, simple, but professional.
Now you try one. I'm a chef.
Okay. I create new recipes, I manage the kitchen during busy hours, and I make sure every dish leaves the kitchen looking perfect.
Excellent. See, listeners, you don't need complicated grammar. You just need simple present tense sentences with strong, clear verbs.
Let's also talk about describing a typical day, because sometimes people ask, what's a typical day like for you? This is slightly different from just listing responsibilities. It's more like telling a small story.
Right. And for this, sequencing words are very useful. Words like first, then, after that, later, and by the end of the day.
Let's build an example. A typical day for me starts around 8. First, I check my emails and plan my priorities. Then I usually have 1 or 2 meetings in the morning. After that, I focus on my main project work until lunch. In the afternoon, I answer messages and help my team with any problems. And by the end of the day, I usually spend some time planning for tomorrow.
Wow, Jake, that was a really complete answer. And it wasn't even complicated English, just simple present tense and good sequencing words.
Exactly, that's the goal. B1 English doesn't mean simple content, it means simple structure carrying real, interesting content.
Beautifully put. Okay, now let's move to something people love talking about, how they actually got into their job, their career story. Okay, so now let's imagine the conversation goes deeper. Someone asks, so how did you get into that field? Or did you always want to do this job?
This is such a common question, and it's a great chance to practice past simple tense because now we're telling a small story about the past.
Exactly. Let's build a simple structure for this. Step 1, talk about your past, maybe your studies or your first job. Step 2, talk about a turning point, a decision, or an opportunity. Step 3, connect it to where you are now.
Let's build an example together. Imagine I'm a graphic designer now. When I was younger, I actually studied business at university, but I always loved drawing and design in my free time. After I graduated, I got a boarding office job and I realized I wasn't happy, so I decided to take some design courses in the evenings. Eventually, I built a small portfolio and I got my first design job 2 years later. Now, I can't imagine doing anything else.
I love that story, Jake. It's simple English, but it tells a real journey. Past simple tense throughout, with clear connecting words like but, so, eventually, and now.
Thank you.
Now you build one, Anna. Let's say you're a nurse. Okay, let's see. When I was a teenager, my grandmother was sick for a long time, and I spent a lot of time in hospitals with her. I noticed how much the nurses helped our family, not just with medicine, but with kindness too. That experience really touched me. So after high school, I decided to study nursing. It wasn't easy, there was a lot of studying, but I finished my degree and I've been working in the emergency department for 3 years now.
Wow, Anna, that's beautiful. And notice something important, listeners. This story isn't just facts. It has emotion. It has a reason. That's what makes people interested. Remember your story and feel connected to you.
Exactly. And here's a tip. You don't need a dramatic story. Even a simple story works. I studied accounting because I liked math in school. I got a job at a small company after graduation, and I've worked in finance ever since. That's a completely normal, honest, simple story, and it's totally fine.
True, not every story needs to be a movie. Some people just followed a natural path, and that's a great answer too.
Let's also give you some useful phrases for this type of storytelling. I've always been interested in. I originally wanted to be a, but I fell into this field by accident. One thing led to another. I decided to make a change. I found my passion for. It wasn't really planned, but
These phrases are gold. They're natural, they're common in real conversations, and they immediately make your English sound more fluent, even if your grammar isn't perfect.
yes, and one more important structure, talking about changing careers. This is very common these days. So many people don't stay in the same job forever.
Right. Useful phrases here include, I used to work in, but I switched to. I made a career change a few years ago. I retrained as a, I decided it was time for something new.
Let's do a quick example. I used to work as a lawyer, but after a few years, I realized it wasn't making me happy. So I retrained as a yoga instructor, and honestly, it was one of the best decisions I've ever made.
Perfect example. It shows past simple, present perfect, and a nice natural flow, all working together in a real, relatable story.
Okay, so now you know how to talk about your job, your daily tasks, and your career story. Let's move to something a little more emotional, talking about what you like and dislike about your job.
Okay, so this next part is really important because it makes conversations feel real and personal, not just like a job interview.
True, people connect with feelings, not just facts. So let's talk about how to express what you love about your job.
Simple structure first. I love plus a noun or a gerund, the ing form of a verb. For example, I love helping people. I love solving problems. I love working with creative people. I love the flexibility of my schedule.
Nice. You can also use what I really enjoy is, followed by the ing form. What I really enjoy is meeting new clients every week. Or, the best part of my job is, followed by a noun phrase or ing form. The best part of my job is seeing a project come to life.
Let's practice. I'll say a job and you tell me what you love about it, Anna.
Okay, go.
Teacher.
What I really enjoy about teaching is watching students improve over time. It's so satisfying to see their progress.
Beautiful. My turn. Chef.
Okay, I'll give you a job. Nurse.
The best part of my job as a nurse is helping people on some of the hardest days of their lives. It makes the hard days worth it.
Lovely. Okay, now let's flip it. Let's talk about challenges or things you don't love, because that's honest too, and it makes conversations feel real, not fake or overly positive.
Right. And here we need some softer, more polite English because we don't want to sound like we're complaining too much in a casual conversation.
Good point. Useful phrases. One challenge is, sometimes it can be a bit stressful, especially when, honestly, the hardest part is, it's not always easy, but
Let's build an example. One challenge in my job is dealing with tight deadlines. Sometimes it can be a bit stressful, especially during busy seasons. But honestly, I think every job has its difficult moments.
nice. And see how it ends on a balanced note? That last sentence, every job has its difficult moments, keeps the conversation friendly and realistic, not negative.
Exactly. This is such an important skill in English conversation. balance. You can be honest about difficulties without sounding like you hate your life.
Right. Nobody wants to hear a 10-minute complaint at a party.
True. Let's give a few more balanced example sentences. It can be tiring sometimes, but I really enjoy the people I work with. The hours are long, but the work itself is very rewarding. It's a lot of pressure, but I've learned to manage it better over time.
These sentences use a really useful pattern: negative point plus but plus positive point. This pattern instantly makes your English sound mature and balanced.
Great tip. Okay, let's also mention comparative structures here, because people often compare their current job to a past job.
Right. For example, my current job is much more relaxed than my last one. I have more freedom now compared to before. This job pays less, but it's far more enjoyable.
These comparative sentences are a great way to add depth to your answer, and they naturally use grammar you probably already learned but maybe don't use enough.
Great point. Okay, we've covered a lot so far: your job title, your daily tasks, your career story, and your feelings about your job. Now let's talk about handling follow-up questions and keeping the conversation going naturally. Okay, so this is a skill many learners forget. A conversation isn't just about answering questions well, it's also about asking questions back.
So true. If you only answer and never ask, the conversation can feel one-sided, almost like an interview instead of a friendly chat.
Exactly. So after you answer, "What do you do?" it's very natural and very polite to ask the same question back.
Simple phrases for this. And what about you? What do you do? How about yourself? And you? What's your job?
These are so simple, but so many learners forget to use them because they're focused on answering correctly.
True. And once the other person answers, you should react. This is another skill, reacting naturally to someone else's answer.
Right. Useful reactions. "Oh, that sounds interesting. Wow, I've never met anyone who does that. That must be really challenging. That sounds like a lot of responsibility. I've always wondered what that job is really like."
These follow-up questions are gold because they keep the conversation moving naturally without any awkward silence.
Let's practice a full mini conversation using everything we've learned so far. Anna, you start. "Okay, so what do you do?"
I'm a physiotherapist. I work at a small clinic downtown, helping people recover from injuries. It's really rewarding, especially when a patient who couldn't walk properly starts moving normally again.
"Oh, wow, that sounds like really meaningful work. What made you choose that career?"
Honestly, I broke my leg badly when I was a teenager, and physiotherapy helped me recover. That experience really inspired me. What about you? What do you do?
I work in marketing. I create content for social media at a small tech company. It's a lot of fun, but sometimes deadlines can be pretty stressful.
That sounds interesting. What's the most fun part of your job?
Probably seeing a campaign go really well and get a lot of attention. It's a great feeling.
See, listeners, that entire conversation used simple present tense, simple past tense, natural reactions, and follow-up questions. Nothing complicated grammatically, but it flowed like a real conversation between two people who are genuinely interested in each other.
Exactly. And that's the real goal here. Not perfect grammar, but real connection.
Beautifully said. Okay, let's move on to another important part of this topic, talking about your future career goals.
So sometimes, especially in interviews, but also in casual conversations, people ask, "What are your career goals?" Or "Where do you see yourself in a few years?"
Classic question. And honestly, kind of a scary one, even in your first language.
True, but let's simplify it. For talking about future plans, we mainly use two structures: going to for intentions and plans, and would like to or hope to for hopes and dreams.
Let's build examples. I'm going to apply for a promotion next year. I'm planning to start my own business eventually. I'd like to move into a management role someday. I hope to work abroad at some point in my career.
These are all natural, simple, and honest ways to talk about the future, without needing complicated grammar.
Let's also mention will for more spontaneous decisions or general future statements. I think I'll stay in this field for a while. I really enjoy it. I probably won't change careers anytime soon.
Good point. Let's build a full example answer using these structures together. Imagine someone asks me, "Where do you see yourself in 5 years?"
Go for it.
That's a good question. Right now, I really enjoy my job in marketing, so I don't think I'll leave the field, but I'd like to move into a more senior role, maybe a marketing manager position. I'm also planning to take some leadership courses next year to prepare for that.
Perfect answer. Simple, clear, honest, and it shows ambition without sounding overconfident.
Thank you. Your turn, Jake. Same question.
Honestly, I'm not completely sure yet. I'm going to keep learning and growing in my current role for now, but eventually I'd love to start my own small business, maybe something related to physiotherapy and wellness.
Nice. And notice that "I'm not completely sure yet" is a totally acceptable, very natural answer.
You don't need a perfect 5-year plan to sound confident in English.
Exactly. Honesty plus good structure equals a great answer.
Let's also mention a few useful phrases for people who genuinely don't know their future plans yet, because that's a very real situation too.
Sure, I'm still figuring that out. I'm keeping my options open right now. I'm not in a rush to decide. I'm just enjoying where I am. It really depends on how things go this year.
These are perfect, calm, mature answers. There's no rule that says you must have a big, dramatic future plan.
True. English gives you the tools to express uncertainty confidently too. And that's an underrated skill.
Beautifully said. Okay, now let's talk about something really useful. Common mistakes learners make when talking about their jobs, so you can avoid them.
Okay, this part is really practical. Let's go through some of the most common mistakes we hear and how to fix them.
Mistake number 1, saying, I am working as a teacher instead of I work as a teacher or I'm a teacher. Many learners overuse the continuous tense for permanent facts.
Right. Remember, present continuous is for temporary or right now actions. Your job, in general, is a permanent fact, so we use present simple. I work as a teacher is correct. I am working as a teacher right now, this week, could work only if it's temporary, like a short-term substitute job.
Good clarification. Mistake number 2, confusing job and work. Many learners use these words in the wrong way.
Right. Job is countable. You can say a job, 2 jobs, my job. But work is usually uncountable in this context. You don't say a work, you say work. For example, I have a new job is correct. I have a new work is incorrect. You'd say I have new work to do, meaning tasks, not a position.
Great distinction. Mistake number 3, saying I am agree with the salary instead of I agree with the salary, or confusing adjective and verb forms in general when talking about job satisfaction.
Yes. Remember, agree is already a verb, so you don't need am before it. I agree is correct. This is a small mistake, but it happens a lot in job-related conversations, especially about opinions in negotiations.
Mistake number 4, using since and for incorrectly when talking about how long you've had your job.
Big one. Remember, for is for a duration, a length of time. I've worked here for 5 years. Since is for a starting point, a specific moment. I've worked here since 2019.
Great reminder. And notice, both of these use present perfect, I've worked, because the action started in the past and continues now. This is a very common structure when talking about your job history.
Mistake number 5, forgetting articles before job titles. Many learners say I am teacher instead of I am a teacher.
Yes, in English, we almost always need an article, a or an, before a singular job title. I'm a nurse, I'm an engineer, I'm a manager. Don't forget that little word. It makes a big difference in how natural your English sounds.
Mistake number 6, overusing very formal or overly complicated vocabulary because learners think it sounds more impressive.
True. Sometimes learners try to use big, complicated words they read in a textbook, but it actually sounds unnatural. Simple, clear English almost always sounds more confident and more fluent than forced, complicated English.
Exactly. Remember our motto here at English Leap. Clear and natural beats complicated and stiff every single time.
Beautifully said. Okay, we've covered a lot of mistakes and corrections. Now let's put everything together with 2 full example conversations so you can hear this whole topic in action, naturally. Okay, Jake, let's do 2 full role-play conversations now. First one, a casual conversation at a party.
Perfect. Let's set the scene. We're at a friend's birthday party, we've just met, and we're making small talk.
Hi, I'm Anna. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Anna. I'm Jake. Nice to meet you too. So, how do you know Sarah?
We used to work together a few years ago. What about you?
We're neighbors, actually. She's a really great friend. So, what do you do these days?
I work in marketing. I'm currently working at a small tech startup creating content for social media. It's a fun job, though the deadlines can be pretty intense sometimes. What about you? What do you do?
I'm a physiotherapist. I work at a clinic downtown, mostly helping people recover from sports injuries.
Oh, wow, that sounds really rewarding. What made you choose that career?
Honestly, I broke my leg pretty badly when I was younger, and physiotherapy really helped me. That experience made me want to help other people the same way.
That's such a great reason. Do you enjoy it?
I really do, especially when a patient finally reaches their recovery goal. It's an amazing feeling. What about your job? Do you enjoy marketing?
I do, yeah. I love the creative side of it, coming up with new ideas. The stressful part is definitely the tight deadlines, but overall, I really enjoy it.
That makes sense. Well, it was really nice talking to you, Anna.
You too, Jake. Enjoy the party.
Perfect. Natural, relaxed conversation.
Notice how it flowed with reactions, follow-up questions, and honest answers, all in simple B1 English.
Now let's do a second example, a slightly more formal one, a short networking conversation at a professional event.
Great idea. Let's set the scene. We're at a business conference, standing near the coffee table.
Hi, I don't think we've met. I'm Anna.
Hi, Anna. I'm Jake. Nice to meet you too. So, which company are you with?
I work for a digital marketing agency called BrightPath. I'm a senior content strategist there. And you?
I work at a healthcare technology company. I'm actually the head of product development there.
Oh, that's impressive. What does that involve exactly?
Basically, I lead a team that designs new features for our health app. We work closely with doctors and patients to understand what they really need. What about your role? What does a typical day look like for you?
I mostly plan content strategies for our clients, manage a small team of writers, and analyze what's working well on social media. It keeps me pretty busy, but I really enjoy the creative challenge.
That sounds like a great mix of creativity and strategy. How long have you been working in marketing?
About 7 years now. I actually started in a completely different field, journalism, but I moved into marketing because I wanted more variety in my work.
That's a great transition. Well, it was really great meeting you, Anna. Here's my card. Let's stay in touch.
Definitely. Thank you, Jake. Great meeting you too.
See, listeners? Same core skills, just a slightly more professional tone. A bit more vocabulary like senior content strategist and head of product development, but the structure is exactly the same as the casual conversation.
Exactly. Once you understand the structure, you can adjust the formality level depending on the situation, casual party or professional networking event, and you'll always sound natural.
Beautifully explained. Okay, now let's give our listeners a chance to practice on their own.
Okay, so let's talk about something very modern and very common these days: remote work, freelance work, and different types of companies. Because what do you do doesn't always mean a traditional office job anymore.
Exactly. So many listeners work from home, work for themselves, or work for very small or very large companies, and each of these situations has its own useful vocabulary. Let's start with remote work. If you work from home, you can say, I work remotely. I work from home. I'm a remote employee for a company based in another city. I mostly work online. And if it's a mix, part office, part home, that's called hybrid work. You can say, I work a hybrid schedule, so I'm in the office 3 days a week and at home the other 2. Great phrase, hybrid schedule. Very common in modern workplaces. Now let's talk about freelance work, because this is huge these days too. Right. If you work for yourself, taking different projects from different clients, you're a freelancer. You can say, I'm a freelance writer. I freelance as a graphic designer. I work for myself. I'm self-employed.
And useful follow-up phrases for freelancers: I work with a few different clients. My schedule is pretty flexible since I set my own hours. The hardest part is finding steady work, but I love the freedom.
Nice, honest, balanced answer again. Negative point plus positive point. Now let's talk about company size, because this adds great context to your answer.
Sure. For a very small company, you can say, I work for a small startup. It's a small company, maybe 15 employees. For a mid-sized company, I work for a mid-sized company, around 200 employees. For a large company, I work for a large corporation. It's a huge company with offices all over the world.
And here's a fun little cultural note. In English-speaking countries, people often love asking about startups specifically because they're seen as exciting, risky, and creative. So if you work at one, that little detail, it's a small startup, often gets a lot of curious follow-up questions.
True. People often ask, oh, what does the company do? Or how many people work there? So it helps to prepare a short, simple answer about your company too, not just your personal role.
Good point. Let's build an example. I work for a small startup called Brightleaf. We make an app that helps people track their sleep habits. There are only about 12 of us, so everyone kind of does a bit of everything.
Perfect. Short, clear, and gives the listener a real picture of your work life.
Let's also mention part-time work and internships because these are common situations for students and career changers.
Right. I work part-time at a cafe while I finish my studies. I'm doing an internship at a law firm this summer. It's not a full-time job yet, but it's great experience.
These are all completely normal, respected answers. There's no need to feel less confident just because your job isn't full-time or permanent yet.
Absolutely. Every kind of work experience is valid, and English gives you clear, natural ways to talk about all of them.
Okay, now let's level up a little. Let's talk about phrasal verbs and idioms related to work, because these instantly make your English sound more natural and more native-like.
Great idea. But remember, listeners, you don't need to use all of these at once. Even learning 2 or 3 well is a huge improvement.
Agreed. Let's start with phrasal verbs. Number 1, get on with. This means to continue doing something, usually a task. I should get on with my work. I have a deadline today.
Number 2, take on. This means to accept new responsibility or a new project. I've taken on a new project this month. It's really exciting.
Number 3, catch up on. This means to do something you're behind on. I need to catch up on my emails after my vacation.
Number 4, deal with. This means to handle a problem or a difficult situation. Part of my job is dealing with customer complaints.
Number 5, burn out. This means to become extremely tired from working too much. I try to manage my time well so I don't burn out.
Number 6, move up. This means to get promoted, to advance in your career. I hope to move up to a senior position soon.
Number 7, branch out. This means to try something new, often related but different from your usual work. After years in marketing, I decided to branch out into consulting.
Number 8, step down. This means to leave a position, often voluntarily. Our old manager stepped down last year and someone new took over.
Great list of phrasal verbs. Now let's move to a few idioms, because idioms are everywhere in real workplace conversations.
Idiom 1, wear many hats. This means having many different responsibilities or roles. At a small startup, you have to wear many hats.
Idiom 2, learn the ropes. This means learning how to do a new job, especially at the beginning. It took me a few weeks to learn the ropes at my new job.
Idiom 3, in the loop. This means being informed and included in decisions or information. My manager always keeps me in the loop about big decisions.
Idiom 4, hit the ground running. This means starting something, like a new job, with a lot of energy and quickly becoming productive. I want to hit the ground running on my first day.
Idiom 5, climb the corporate ladder. This means to advance step by step in your career, usually in a traditional company structure. She's been climbing the corporate ladder for 10 years now.
Idiom 6, 9 to 5. This describes a traditional, standard office job with regular hours. I don't have a typical 9 to 5 job. My hours change every week.
Let's put a few of these together in a natural example. When I first joined the company, I had to learn the ropes pretty quickly. At a small startup, you really do wear many hats. So I ended up doing marketing, customer service, and even a bit of accounting in my first year.
Perfect natural use of 2 idioms in one short, believable story. This is exactly how native speakers actually talk about their jobs.
Beautifully done. Okay, now let's talk about something everyone deals with at work: colleagues, teams, and bosses. Okay, so a big part of talking about your job is talking about the people you work with, because work is rarely just about tasks. It's also about relationships.
True, and this comes up naturally in conversation. People ask things like, do you like your coworkers, or what's your boss like?
Right. Let's start with vocabulary. Coworker and colleague both mean someone you work with, and they're used pretty interchangeably. Teammate is used when you work closely together on the same project or team.
Boss is a general casual word for the person above you. Manager and supervisor are more specific job titles for that role. And direct report describes someone who works under you if you're in a leadership role.
Great vocabulary. Now let's build some natural sentences describing your team. I work with a really great team. My colleagues are super supportive. I get along really well with my coworkers. We have a small, close-knit team.
Close-knit, great word, meaning a group with strong, friendly relationships. Let's also mention teamwork-related phrases. We collaborate closely on most projects. We support each other when things get busy. There's a lot of teamwork involved in what I do.
Now let's talk about describing your boss or manager in a positive, neutral, or careful way, because this can be a sensitive topic.
Right. Useful positive phrases. My manager is really supportive. My boss gives us a lot of independence. I've learned a lot from my manager.
Neutral, safe phrases. Useful when you'd rather not share too much. My manager's all right. It's a pretty typical boss-employee relationship. We get along fine.
And if you want to express a challenge carefully, without being too negative in a casual conversation, you can say, my manager can be a bit demanding sometimes, but I've learned a lot from the experience. It's not always easy, but overall it's a good working relationship.
Perfect. Careful, professional English again, using that negative plus but positive pattern we mentioned earlier.
Let's build a short example combining all of this. I work with a really close-knit team. We all get along well and support each other during busy periods. My manager is fairly hands-off, which I actually really appreciate, since I like having independence in my work.
Lovely, natural, complete answer. Notice hands-off, meaning a manager who doesn't control every little detail, giving employees freedom. Great word to know.
The opposite would be hands-on, meaning very involved and detailed.
Both are useful neutral descriptions, not necessarily positive or negative.
Great point. Context decides whether hands-on or hands-off sounds like a compliment or a complaint.
True. Okay, we've now covered team dynamics too. Let's do 2 more full example conversations before we move to your practice section, this time in slightly different settings, a job interview and a family gathering.
Okay, first one, a short job interview scenario where you're asked to describe your current or previous role.
Great. Let's set the scene. Interviewer and candidate.
So, tell me a little bit about your current role.
Sure. I currently work as a marketing coordinator at a mid-sized company called Northline Media. My main responsibilities include managing our social media accounts, creating content calendars, and coordinating with our design team on campaigns.
That's great. What would you say is your biggest achievement in that role?
Good question. Last year, I led a small campaign that increased our social media engagement by almost 40%. I'm really proud of that because it was my first time managing a project from start to finish.
Impressive. And why are you looking for a new opportunity?
Honestly, I've learned a lot in my current role, but I'm ready for more responsibility. I'd like to move into a role where I can manage a small team and take on bigger strategic projects.
That makes a lot of sense. Thank you for sharing that.
See, listeners, notice the structure here. Past achievements using past simple, current responsibilities using present simple, and future goals using would like to. A really clean, professional mix of tenses, all still simple B1 level grammar.
Exactly. You don't need advanced grammar to sound professional. You just need clear structure and confident delivery.
Let's do our final example now. A family gathering, maybe a holiday dinner, talking to a relative you haven't seen in a while.
Perfect. Very relatable scenario for a lot of learners. Let's set the scene. An aunt asking about your job at a family dinner.
So, remind me, what exactly do you do again?
Classic family question. I work as a UX designer. Basically, I design how apps and websites look and work so they're easy for people to use.
Oh, that sounds complicated. Do you like it?
I really do, actually. I love solving little problems, like figuring out why people struggle to use a certain button or feature, and then fixing it.
Interesting. Is there a lot of computer work involved?
Yes, quite a lot. But there's also a creative side, too. Sketching ideas, testing designs with real users. It's a nice mix.
Well, I'm glad you found something you enjoy.
Thanks, that means a lot.
Notice how relaxed and warm that conversation felt, even though the topic, UX design, might be unfamiliar to the other person. Simple explanations, patience, and a friendly tone made the whole exchange easy to follow.
Exactly. And that's such an important skill, too. Explaining your job simply to someone who doesn't work in your field. Avoid jargon, use everyday comparisons, and keep it warm and simple.
Great final tip. All right, now listeners, it's really your turn.
Okay, so now we want to give you something really practical, a full sample bank. We're going to go through 20 different jobs, and for each one, we'll give a complete, natural 3-part answer using everything we've learned today.
Great idea. Listeners, even if your exact job isn't on this list, listen to the pattern. You can copy the structure and just change the details for your own situation.
Let's go. Number 1, accountant. I'm an accountant. I work at a mid-sized firm downtown, mostly handling tax reports for small businesses. The busiest time of year is tax season, but I actually enjoy the challenge.
Number 2, software developer. I'm a software developer. I work remotely for a tech company based in another city. Right now, I'm building a new feature for our mobile app, which has been a fun challenge.
Number 3, high school teacher. I'm a high school teacher. I teach history at a public school. My favorite part is when students get genuinely curious about a topic and start asking really smart questions.
Number 4, chef. I'm a chef. I work at a small Italian restaurant in the city center. I love experimenting with new recipes, especially seasonal dishes.
Number 5, nurse. I'm a nurse. I work in the emergency department at a local hospital. It's demanding work, but I find it really meaningful, especially helping people during scary moments.
Number 6, graphic designer. I'm a graphic designer. I freelance for a few different clients, mostly small businesses. Right now, I'm working on a rebrand for a local coffee shop.
Number 7, electrician. I'm an electrician. I work for a small company that handles residential wiring. Every job site is a little different, which keeps things interesting.
Number 8, lawyer. I'm a lawyer. I work at a firm specializing in family law. It can be emotionally difficult sometimes, but I really value helping families through tough situations.
Number 9, hairdresser.
I'm a hairdresser. I work at a salon downtown. I love the creative side of it. Plus, I get to chat with so many interesting people every day.
Number 10, civil engineer. I'm a civil engineer. I work for a construction firm, mainly on bridge and road projects. It's satisfying to see something you designed actually get built.
Number 11, social media manager. I'm a social media manager. I work for a mid-sized fashion brand, planning and posting content across different platforms. No 2 days look exactly the same, which I really enjoy.
Number 12, physical therapist. I'm a physical therapist. I work at a private clinic, helping patients recover from injuries and surgeries. It's incredibly rewarding to see someone regain their mobility.
Number 13, real estate agent. I'm a real estate agent. I work independently, mostly helping first-time buyers find their homes. It's a lot of driving around, but I really enjoy meeting new families.
Number 14, data analyst. I'm a data analyst. I work for an insurance company, mostly analyzing customer trends. It's detailed work, but I like finding patterns that others might miss.
Number 15, flight attendant. I'm a flight attendant. I work for a major international airline. It's a lot of travel, which I love, though the schedule can definitely be tiring.
Number 16, veterinarian. I'm a veterinarian. I work at a small animal clinic in the suburbs. Every day is different, and honestly, the animals are usually easier to deal with than some of the humans.
Number 17, architect. I'm an architect. I work at a small design firm, mostly on residential projects. I love turning a client's vague idea into an actual functional space.
Number 18, personal trainer. I'm a personal trainer. I work at a gym downtown, and I also do some online coaching. The best part is watching clients hit goals they didn't think were possible.
Number 19, journalist. I'm a journalist. I write for a local news website, mostly covering community stories. I love that my job lets me meet so many different people and hear their stories.
Number 20, stay-at-home parent. Right now, I'm a stay-at-home parent, taking care of my 2 kids. It's honestly one of the busiest jobs I've ever had, even though it doesn't come with a paycheck. And let's add 10 more just to really drill this pattern in, because repetition really is how this sticks.
Sure. Number 21, pharmacist. I'm a pharmacist. I work at a small independent pharmacy in my neighborhood. I really like getting to know regular customers and helping them understand their medications.
Number 22, plumber. I'm a plumber. I run my own small business, mostly doing repairs for homes in the area. No 2 days look the same, and I like solving problems with my hands.
Number 23, translator. I work freelance, mostly translating documents between English and Spanish for small businesses. I love that my job blends 2 languages I really love.
Number 24, police officer. I'm a police officer. I work for the local police department, mostly on evening patrol shifts. It's a demanding job, but I take a lot of pride in keeping my community safe.
Number 25, photographer. I'm a photographer. I mostly shoot weddings and family portraits on weekends. I love capturing moments that people will treasure for years.
Number 26, air traffic controller. I'm an air traffic controller. I work at a regional airport, guiding planes safely in and out. It's intense work, but I find it really satisfying when everything runs smoothly.
Number 27, librarian. I'm a librarian. I work at a public library downtown. I love helping people, especially kids, discover a book they end up loving.
Number 28, personal assistant. I'm a personal assistant. I work for a busy executive, managing schedules, emails, and travel plans. It keeps me on my toes, but I really enjoy staying organized and helpful.
Number 29, farmer. I run a small family farm, mostly growing vegetables that we sell at the local market. It's hard physical work, but there's something really satisfying about growing your own food.
Number 30, video game designer. I'm a video game designer. I work at a small studio, mostly designing levels and gameplay mechanics. Honestly, it's a dream job for someone who grew up loving video games.
What a great list. 30 completely different lives, but every single answer followed the exact same simple structure. Job title, where or how you work, and one honest, interesting detail.
That's really the whole secret, listeners. Once you know the formula, you can build your own version for absolutely any job, even ones we didn't mention today.
Okay, before we wrap up, let's answer a few common questions we've received from listeners about this exact topic.
Great idea. First question from a listener named Fatima. Is it rude to ask someone how much money they make right after asking about their job?
Good question, Fatima. In most English-speaking cultures, especially in casual or professional settings, asking directly about salary is considered quite private and can feel a bit rude, especially with someone you just met.
Right. It's much more natural to ask about the job itself, your responsibilities, what you enjoy, rather than jumping straight into numbers.
If salary comes up naturally later in a close friendship, that's different. But as a first conversation topic, it's best avoided.
Good rule of thumb. Focus on the what and the why of someone's job, not the how much.
Next question from a listener named Priya. What if I don't like my job? Do I have to pretend I love it in conversation?
Great question, Priya. No, you don't have to pretend, but we'd recommend using that balanced pattern we talked about earlier. Something honest, followed by but, followed by something more positive or at least neutral.
For example, honestly, it's not my dream job, but it pays the bills, and I've met some great people there. That's completely honest, but still socially comfortable, not overly negative.
Exactly. You can absolutely be truthful without turning a casual conversation into a complaint session.
Next question from a listener named Priya. How do I talk about my job if I recently lost it or I'm unemployed?
This is such an important, very human question, Priya. Thank you for asking. First, please know that being between jobs is completely normal and nothing to feel embarrassed about.
For conversation, you can simply say, I'm actually between jobs right now. I used to work in retail management and I'm currently exploring new opportunities. Short, honest, forward-looking.
You can also add a positive detail if you want. I'm actually between jobs right now, which has given me some time to focus on learning new skills, like improving my English. That's actually a great answer for this podcast.
Exactly. Perfect crossover moment there. Okay, next question from a listener named Marco. What if my English isn't good enough to explain my job in detail?
Great, honest question, Marco, and a very common worry. Remember, you don't need advanced vocabulary. Simple present tense, simple past tense, and basic clear sentences are completely enough, as we've shown throughout this whole episode.
And if you genuinely don't know a specific word, it's perfectly fine to describe it simply instead. I don't know the exact English word, but basically I check that machines are working correctly in a factory. That sentence communicates perfectly, even without one specific technical word.
Exactly. Communication over perfection, always.
Last question for today, from a listener named Elena. Any tips for talking about a job I'm not proud of, like something very basic or low-paying?
Elena, first of all, every honest job deserves respect, full stop. There's no such thing as a job that's too small to talk about with confidence.
Totally agree. You can simply state your job clearly and add a positive or neutral detail. I work as a cashier at a supermarket. It's not my long-term plan, but I've learned a lot about dealing with people, and it helps me pay for my studies.
That answer shows self-awareness, honesty, and forward thinking. And honestly, most people respect that kind of answer far more than a fake, overly impressive one.
Beautifully said, Anna. Great questions today, everyone. Thank you so much for sending them in.
Yes, please keep sending your questions. We genuinely love answering them, and it helps us know exactly what to cover in future episodes. Okay, this is the part where you, our listener, become the speaker. Pause the audio after each question if you need to, and answer out loud. Yes, actually speak. Don't just think the answer in your head.
This is so important. Speaking practice, even alone, even to your phone or your mirror, builds real fluency. Reading silently does not.
So true. Okay, question 1. What do you do? Answer using our 3-part structure. Job title, where you work, one interesting detail.
Take your time? Great. Question 2. What does a typical day look like for you? Use present simple and sequencing words. First, then, after that.
Question 3. How did you get into that field? Use past simple to tell a short story about your journey.
Question 4. What do you enjoy most about your job? Use I love or what I really enjoy is, followed by the ing form.
Question 5. Is there anything challenging about your job? Use our balanced pattern. Negative point, but positive point.
Question 6. Where do you see yourself in the next few years? Use going to, would like to, or I'm still figuring that out if that's honest for you.
And finally, question 7, the bonus round. Ask a friend, a family member, or even us in the comments, what do you do? And really listen to their answer. Then ask one good follow-up question.
That's real active practice, listeners. Not just memorizing sentences, but actually using them in a real or imagined conversation.
Exactly. And here's a tip. Record yourself answering these questions on your phone. Listen back after a day or two. You'll be surprised how much clearer your English already sounds, just from doing this exercise once.
Great tip. And if you want, write your answer to question 1 in the comments below this episode. We really do read them, and sometimes we even reply with a small correction or a compliment.
We love seeing your progress. Honestly, it's the best part of doing this podcast.
Okay, before we wrap up, let's do a quick recap because repetition is how real learning happens.
Great idea. First, we learned the 3-part structure for answering what do you do.
your job title, where you work, and one interesting detail.
Second, we built a vocabulary toolbox, industries, job fields, and useful general phrases when you don't know the exact word.
Third, we learned how to describe your daily tasks using present simple and strong natural verbs like handle, coordinate, and oversee.
Fourth, we practiced telling your career story using past simple, with useful phrases like I've always been interested in, and one thing led to another.
Fifth, we learned how to talk about what you like and dislike about your job, using balanced sentences with bud so you sound honest and mature, not negative.
Sixth, we practiced keeping conversations alive with follow-up questions and natural reactions, so it feels like a real chat, not an interview.
Seventh, we learned how to talk about future career goals using going to, would like to, hope to, and even honest uncertainty, like I'm still figuring that out.
And eighth, we covered common mistakes, present simple versus continuous for permanent facts, job versus work, since versus for, and remembering articles before job titles.
That's a lot of really useful practical English, all built around one everyday topic.
Exactly, and that's the beauty of this topic. It's not just vocabulary, it's a real skill you'll use again and again in almost every new conversation you have in English. Okay, before we close today's episode, let's give you one more gift, a complete glossary of everything we covered, organized so you can review it easily or even come back to this section anytime you need a quick refresher.
Great idea, Jake. Let's go through it category by category, nice and slow.
Starting your answer. I'm a, I work as a, I work in, I work at, I work for. Currently, I'm, right now I'm, describing your field. I work in healthcare. I work in education. I work in technology. I work in finance. I work in marketing. I work in hospitality. I work in construction. I work in retail. I work in the legal field. I work in a creative industry. General, flexible descriptions when you're not sure of the exact word. I work with numbers. I work with computers. I work with children. I work with my hands. I work behind a desk. I work in customer service. For students and non-traditional situations. I'm a student. I'm studying to become a. I'm currently between jobs. I'm looking for a new opportunity. I'm a stay-at-home parent. I'm doing an internship at. I work part-time at. For remote work, freelance work, and company type. I work remotely. I work from home. I work a hybrid schedule. I'm a freelancer. I'm self-employed. I work for myself. I work for a small startup. I work for a large corporation. Describing daily tasks and responsibilities. I handle. I manage. I coordinate with. I oversee. I support. I create. I review. I analyze. I'm responsible for. Sequencing a typical day. First, then, after that, later on, by the end of the day, most mornings, throughout the week, telling your career story. I've always been interested in. I originally wanted to be a, but I fell into this field by accident. One thing led to another. I decided to make a change. I found my passion for. It wasn't really planned, but I used to work in, but I switched to. I made a career change a few years ago. I retrained as a. Talking about what you love about your job. I love. What I really enjoy is, the best part of my job is, I find it really rewarding when talking about challenges. One challenge is, sometimes it can be a bit stressful, especially when, honestly, the hardest part is, it's not always easy, but it can be tiring sometimes, but keeping the conversation going. And what about you? How about yourself? Oh, that sounds interesting. That must be really challenging. What does a typical day look like for you? What made you choose that career? Is it very different from what people imagine? Talking about the future. I'm going to. I'm planning to. I'd like to. I hope to. I think I'll. I probably won't. I'm still figuring that out. I'm keeping my options open. Talking about teams, colleagues, and bosses. I work with a great team. My colleagues are supportive. We have a close-knit team. My manager is hands-off. My manager is hands-on. I've learned a lot from my manager. We collaborate closely on projects. Useful phrasal verbs. Get on with, take on, catch up on, deal with. Burn out, move up, branch out, step down. Useful idioms. Wear many hats, learn the ropes, in the loop, hit the ground running, climb the corporate ladder, 9 to 5.
What a complete list! Listeners, honestly, if you just picked 10 phrases from this glossary and practiced using them this week, your job-related English would improve dramatically.
Totally agree. You don't have to master everything at once. Pick a few, use them in real conversations, and slowly add more over time. Part 20. One final extended practice dialogue. A dinner party with 4 friends.
Okay, for our final piece today, let's do one longer, more natural dialogue, this time with 4 people at a dinner party, so you can hear how this topic flows in a bigger group conversation, not just a one-on-one chat.
Great idea. Let's introduce our 4 friends, Anna, Jake, and 2 guests, Sam and Priya.
Everyone, this is Sam and Priya. They just moved to the city last month.
Nice to meet you both. So what brought you 2 to the city?
I got a new job here, actually. I'm a UX researcher, and my company opened a new office downtown.
Oh, interesting. What exactly does a UX researcher do?
Basically, I talk to users, real customers, and figure out what problems they have with a product. Then I share that with the design team so they can improve it.
That sounds really valuable. Sam, what about you? What do you do?
I am actually a chef. I just started working at a new restaurant a few blocks from here.
No way, that's exciting. What kind of food?
Mostly Mediterranean food, lots of fresh ingredients. Honestly, the hours are long, but I love the energy of a busy kitchen. Jake here works in physiotherapy, right, Jake?
That's right. I work at a small clinic downtown, mostly helping people recover from sports injuries. What about you as our host tonight? Remind everyone what you do.
I work in marketing at a tech startup. I mostly create content for social media, and I manage a small team of 2 writers.
That sounds fun. Do you enjoy the creative side of it?
I really do, though deadlines can definitely get stressful sometimes.
Sounds like all of us have pretty demanding jobs, honestly.
True, but I think that's normal these days. What matters is finding something you actually enjoy, even with the stressful parts.
Completely agree. I'd rather have a busy job I love than a boring job that pays a bit more.
Exactly my philosophy, too. All right, enough job talk, let's eat.
Perfect ending line.
See, listeners, in that whole group conversation, 4 different people, 4 different jobs, all using the exact same simple tools we taught you today. Job title, small detail, follow-up question, honest reaction, and a nice friendly close.
It really proves the point. Once you learn this structure, you can use it in literally any social setting. One-on-one, small groups, big parties, interviews, anywhere.
Beautifully summarized, Jake. Okay, now we really are ready to wrap up today's episode.
Part 21. Cultural Notes. How job talk differs around the English-speaking world. Okay, one more really useful section before we finish. Let's talk about culture, because talking about your job doesn't always work exactly the same way in every English-speaking country.
Great point, Jake. This is something a lot of textbooks completely ignore, but it really matters for real communication.
Let's start with the United States. In general American culture, especially in business settings, people often talk about their jobs with a lot of enthusiasm and confidence, even a little bit of self-promotion.
True, so if you're speaking with Americans, don't worry about sounding too proud of your achievements. A confident tone, like, I led a really successful project last year, is completely normal and even expected.
Now let's compare that to British culture. Generally speaking, British conversation style tends to be a little more modest, sometimes even using self-deprecating humor, making a small joke about yourself.
Right, so a British person might downplay a big achievement, saying something like, oh, it went all right, I suppose, even if it actually went really well. It's a cultural style, not a lack of confidence.
Interesting difference. Let's talk about Australian culture next. Australians often value a very relaxed, informal, friendly tone when talking about work, even in fairly professional settings.
True, so don't be surprised if an Australian colleague talks about their serious, high-level job using very casual language, lots of humor and informal words.
And let's also mention India, since so many of our listeners are here. In many professional settings across India, especially in bigger cities and international companies, there's often a nice balance. Respectful, fairly formal language, but still warm and friendly, especially once a relationship builds.
Great point. And here's the most important takeaway, listeners. None of these styles are correct or incorrect. They're just different cultural norms. The key skill is flexibility, adjusting your tone slightly based on who you're speaking with. Exactly. If you're speaking with someone more direct and confident, feel free to match that energy a little. If you're speaking with someone more modest or reserved, you can soften your tone too. Reading the room is a real English skill, not just grammar. Beautifully explained. One more quick cultural note. In many Western business cultures, describing failures or mistakes briefly and honestly, followed by what you learned, is actually seen very positively.
True. So a sentence like, my first project didn't go as planned, but I learned a lot about time management from it, often makes a really strong, mature impression, much more than pretending everything always goes perfectly.
Great final tip. Okay, now let's do a short shadowing practice before we wrap up completely.
Part 22. Shadowing practice. Repeat after us. Okay, listeners, for our final section, we're going to do something called shadowing practice. We'll say a sentence, pause briefly, and you repeat it out loud.
copying our rhythm and pronunciation as closely as you can.
This is such a powerful technique for building natural pronunciation and confidence, so please actually speak out loud, even if you feel a little silly doing it alone. Let's begin. Sentence 1. So what do you do? Now you. Sentence 2. I work in marketing at a small tech company. Now you. Sentence 3. What does a typical day look like for you? Now you. Sentence 4. I've always been interested in helping people. Now you. Sentence 5. One thing led to another and here I am. Now you. Sentence 6. The best part of my job is meeting new people every day. Now you. Sentence 7. It can be stressful sometimes, but I really enjoy it. Now you. Sentence 8. I'd like to move into a management role someday. Now you. Sentence 9. I'm still figuring that out, honestly. Now you. Sentence 10. And what about you? What do you do? Now you. Great job, everyone. Try repeating this shadowing section 2 or 3 times a day for the next week. You'll be surprised how much smoother and more natural these sentences start to feel in your own mouth. Absolutely. Repetition really is the secret ingredient behind fluent, confident speaking, more than any grammar rule. Beautifully said. All right, now finally, let's wrap up today's episode for real this time. Part 23. Bonus. Writing about your job in English. Okay, one last bonus section, because talking about your job isn't only a spoken skill. It comes up in writing too. LinkedIn profiles, emails, cover letters, even a short bio for a work website.
Great addition, Anna, because a lot of the same structure and vocabulary from today actually transfers really nicely into writing, just slightly more polished.
Right, let's start with a short LinkedIn-style bio. The formula is similar to our spoken structure. Job title, what you do, one thing that makes you stand out.
Let's build an example. Marketing professional with 5 years of experience creating social media strategies for growing brands. Passionate about storytelling and helping small businesses find their voice online.
Nice. Notice it's written in third-person style or without personal pronouns, which is very common for professional bios. Short sentences, strong adjectives, clear focus. Let's do another one. Registered nurse with a background in emergency care, dedicated to providing compassionate, high-quality care to patients and their families during difficult moments.
Beautiful. Notice the pattern again. Job title plus experience, followed by a value statement, something that shows your motivation or personality.
Now let's talk about a short email introduction. For example, introducing yourself to a new client or a new team.
Useful opening phrases. I'm reaching out to introduce myself. I recently joined the team as a, I'll be working closely with you on. I look forward to collaborating with you. Let's build a short example email opening. Hi, Daniel. I'm reaching out to introduce myself. I recently joined the marketing team as a content strategist, and I'll be working closely with you on the upcoming product launch. I look forward to collaborating with you over the next few months. Clean, professional, warm, and it uses almost the exact same structure we practiced for spoken conversations today, just slightly more formal. Great point. Now, let's briefly mention cover letters, since so many of our listeners find this stressful. The opening line often briefly states your current role and your interest in the new position. For example, as a marketing coordinator with 3 years of experience in digital campaigns, I'm excited to apply for the senior marketing specialist position at your company. Simple, clear, confident, and honestly built from the exact same 3-part formula: who you are, your experience, and your goal.
It really is the same skill everywhere, spoken or written, casual or formal. Once you understand the underlying structure, you can adapt it to almost any situation involving your job.
Beautifully summarized, Jake. All right, that really is everything for today. Okay, that's it for today's episode, everyone. We really hope this helps you feel more confident the next time someone asks you, so, what do you do?
And remember, you don't need perfect grammar to have a great conversation. You just need clear structure, honest content, and a little bit of confidence.
Exactly. If you enjoyed this episode, please like it, subscribe to the podcast, and share it with a friend who's also learning English.
And don't forget, comment below and tell us, what do you do? We genuinely love to know, and it's great practice for you too.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us today. Keep practicing, keep speaking, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Take care, everyone, and remember, every conversation is just practice for the next one. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone.